Today, I'm trying my hand at some blacksmithing. I'm gonna be forging a knife from start to finish, completely from scratch. And I have zero experience, so it's gonna be a good one.
To be honest, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I'm just jumping right into the deep end, but I figured I had to start somewhere, so I headed out to the scrap pile to see what kind of metal I could find.
Oh yeah, jackpot. This is what we're looking for. This is a leaf spring. It's like what you find under like a trailer or a truck for shock absorbers, but apparently this is great beginner knife making steel, so I'm gonna go get this cleaned up.
I cut myself a chunk of steel, but I realized I just wanted to differentiate the blade from the tang, so with the chop saw and the angle grinder, I just made a really basic shape just to help me while I was forging. Next up was the forge. Built out of bricks and running on charcoal and prayers, I was ready to start my blacksmithing empire.
Alright, here's the setup. We've got our homemade forge right here. As you can see, it's heating up, getting all nice and toasty. We're powering it with a blow dryer to keep the coals nice and hot.
So I ran a few test heats and just realized it wasn't going well. My workflow was not smooth and it was just off. Yeah, it wasn't working.
Whoa, too far. So after some whacking and playing around with the forge, I'm just not happy with it. It's too big. It doesn't heat up the whole space. I'm going through way too many briquettes, and the anvil just is in an odd spot. It's just not a great setup. So I'm going to move to a new place and we're going to try that.
I moved my whole operation to a new spot, which was not fun, but I redesigned the forge from the ground up and was much more happy with it. Just take a look at this. Just kidding, this spot didn't work either. The sun was way too bright to see what color the metal was glowing when I was forging with it, so I had to find a new spot. But this did mean I get to redesign the forge again. Alright, we've got all the kinks worked out, now we're ready to do some real blacksmithing. With the knife in the forge heating up the temperature, we're getting ready to jump right into the fun part.
Alright, forging is done. I'm really happy with the shape, but now we're going to move on to filing and grinding. This is where it's really going to take shape and start to look like a knife, but it's also a lot of work, so we're just going to jump right into it. Alright, update. So after doing many hours of filing and sanding and grinding, I finally got the basic shape of it done. I'm pretty happy with it. There's some imperfections. It's not perfect, but the more I try to fix it, the more mistakes I make. So I'm going to call it good there, and we're going to move on to some heat treating and quenching. So we're going to do that. We're going to need some oil. We'll have to get the forge up and running again, but I think that's what we're moving on to next. And also, did you know Ford made tractors? Because I didn't, but I could definitely see myself repping a Ford tractor. She's a beaut.
Yeah, no, that didn't get it nearly hot enough. We're gonna need something a little bigger. To kick off our heat treatment here, we're going to need to do some normaling cycles. This is where you heat up your blade and then let it cool down naturally just in the air. So we're looking for around 1500 degrees Fahrenheit, which practically is just past where it loses its magnetism. So we'll check it with a magnet, and after that, yeah, just let it sit all by itself, and we're going to rinse and repeat for about 3 times. Alright, this is where it gets sketchy. I've been dreading this part the whole process, but we need to harden our blade. This means we need to heat up our blade really hot and then cool it down really quick, like in under 2 seconds. And you do this by dipping your blade in warm cooking oil, and that cools it down really quick. But the catch is, if you've done anything wrong in your heat treatment process, it could cause your blade to snap or crack, and I didn't want that to happen. So let me tell you, my heart was beating. I was just hoping that it wouldn't crack. Okay, looks like we're in the clear. There's no cracks or anything, it's looking good. But right now it's really brittle. Like if I dropped it, it'd completely shatter. So we need to bring back a little bit of that pliability to just give it that balance between strength and hardness. You're gonna wanna put it in the oven for about 2 hours at 450 and then let it cool so it's cool to the touch, and just throw it back in and repeat the cycle. Alright, our blade should be fully heat treated by now. It left this really cool pattern on it. I actually really liked it. I would have kept it, but it had some surface imperfections that I had to sand off anyway, so I brought it back to that shiny look. But now I was ready to move on to the handle. So bad. Alright guys, that was a great project. That was lots of fun. It was a lot of work. Don't let this short video fool you. It was very condensed. That took many hours, over like 10 days of effort, but it was good. I was glad I did it. Big thanks to Alex Steele. He was the main inspiration behind this video, so check him out if you're into any of this stuff. If you enjoyed this video at all, you know, I'd appreciate a like or a subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.